ClassicGameRoom.com.
Welcome to Classic Game Room, where you've heard me lavish Thunder Force 3 on the Genesis with praise, while Super Nintendo fans can dig pretty much the same game as Thunder Spirits on the SNES. Thunder Spirits sounds like a wicked cocktail, but no, it's the Super Nintendo version of one of my favorite games, Thunder Force 3 on the Sega Genesis, but don't mistake it as a rebadged clone of TF3. It's slightly different. For starters, you don't choose your path through the game. In fact, it has more in common with Thunder Force AC, a game that I have on the Saturn, which is the arcade version of Thunder Force 3. While the first 3 levels here will be very familiar to Thunder Force 3 fans, you'll immediately notice the music is different. It has that Super Nintendo sound, which is softer and less abrasive than the Genesis. Thunder Force 3 is known as being one of the more forgiving spaceship shooters on the Sega Genesis. It's a great game for beginners, still challenging, tons of fun, but not insanely difficult, like some of them. Thunder Spirits actually turns out to be a more challenging game later on. The first 3 levels are quite easy, especially if you've memorized them from Thunder Force 3. It'll then start to punish you, so this is still a good game for beginners. It's not insanely hard, but it's probably tougher than the Genesis version of TF3. Some level memorization is required. As you see, I screwed up something earlier, but I always liked this particular level in Thunder Force 3. The fire effects are very cool, and they look good here on the Super Nintendo. Visually, the game doesn't really differ all that much. It's in the sound department that you'll really notice it. You know, it can't be Thunder Force or Thunder Spirit or Thunder whatever without the Hunter. Let's move on to the next level, which has one of my favorite Thunder Force themes. Whoops, it's a good thing I have my shield on. For those unfamiliar with the Thunder Force series, it's one of the greatest horizontally scrolling spaceship shooter game series ever, although Thunder Force 2 has some top-down stuff. It's a pretty straightforward arcade-style shoot-'em-up. You pick up power-ups as you fly through these crazy levels, and then you can switch between them. If you get blown up while holding a particular weapon, you lose it. And if you continue to pick up the same weapons over and over again, you get big points, which you'll want for extra lives. Can't say I'm too wild about that explosion sound, but the music is good and the game plays as well as it should. Now let's step it up to some levels that start to kick your ass. While the Hunter is my all-time favorite Thunder Force weapon, this is probably the best for this game, giving you some nice close-range power and a lot of defense. But like a good friend, Hunter is there when you need it, unless you're destroyed while holding it, in which case it's not. Take that thing from Dune. I haven't memorized the last couple levels here, but let's take a quick peek at Thunder Force AC and Thunder Force 3 just so you guys can see and hear the differences. Now let's go back to Thunder Spirits on the Super Nintendo. You know, that's all just Thundertastic. I've got two people to thank for sending Thunder Spirits to the show. Kevin from Duncan, Oklahoma, and Mark from Brooklyn, New York. So, thanks to Kevin and Mark, and of course, Techno Soft. Thunder Spirits, highly recommended for the Super Nintendo, and Thunder Force is recommended for anything. All of them. They're all good. Thunder Force 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, AC Lightning Force, and Revenge of Shinobi just for the hell of it.